Hey guys, welcome to the Off the Field podcast. I am your host, Jason. And in this one, we are going to be talking about not uploading because you are afraid of other people's opinions. Now I know that's sort of a long title, but this is something that I have seen recently. Um like in other people's comment section. I've also seen it before in my comment section a long time ago. Um, I wasn't sure. I don't think I wasn't. I don't think I responded to it at that time. So here's my response to it, and how I feel about this particular topic. For me, when I first started, I was a little hesitant about posting videos because of what people may think. Some of my friends, or not even some of my friends per se, because they're always supportive and my family is always supportive, but other people that I was cool with, like, were they gonna see this as like corny, or yeah, no, oh, you think that's gonna be popular or whatever. But to be honest with you guys, like, once I started posting videos, I stopped caring, and I just had fun with it. I'm still having fun with it to this day. But at that time, yeah, like when you upload like your first video, obviously there's nerves, right? But I would say this, like, this year is the best year to post content. And the reason why I say that is because it's still a fresh year, right? And just post, man. I mean, if you don't want to start off with YouTube, and here's a good thing, you don't have to start off with YouTube. See, when I was posting content, the only way I knew was you had to post on YouTube. And then later on, that's when I started posting on other platforms. I was just exclusively on YouTube, right? And this is before they had YouTube Shorts, right? When YouTube Shorts came along, hey, I jumped onto the trend and I ran with it. And that's why a lot of you guys know me today. But like, if you're making content or wanting to make content right now, I would say post on Instagram. I would definitely say post on Instagram. If you don't feel comfortable enough to post on YouTube, or you a perfectionist like I am, like a lot of times I have like a lot of ideas, but because I can't perfect it, I don't do it. That's one of my biggest flaws that I have right now that I'm working on. But I say this to my friends that ask me, like, hey, I wanna do YouTube, I wanna do this, and I can say this. Another thing I can say about when people ask me that, like, be like, yo, how did I start YouTube? How did I start this? I've noticed this about me. I scare people away from making content. And you probably be like, well, you don't scare us away. No, I do not. But it's because I learned. You know, Before, I would tell them everything that goes on behind the scenes. All the mental preparation, these things that, if you're coming at it from, you just want to pick up your phone and record, that's not something you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's cool to hear it from someone that's experiencing it right now, but at the same time, you don't really want to know all the details. You just want to know, hey, why I need to record. Oh, I can just record on my phone. Okay, can you just show me how to record? That's it. It took me so long to figure out how to not make people run away from doing content, because me not noticing it, they had never make content. And then I see them again at like a cookout or something like that, or a family gathering, and I'm asking, I'm like, yo, how's the content going? They're like, I don't really want to do it. It's too much work. It's this and that. And then And then it clicks to me like, oh, this is exactly what I told them a year ago at the family reunion or family function, whatever. Okay, maybe I need to stop giving that much information about it. You know what I mean? And now thinking about it, I will see their face go from, so yeah, how I make content to, all right, well, hey, you take care, buddy. It's like, hope you make content. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of them. Yeah, but like you been scared and stuff of making content. Look, guys, I still get nervous and scared every single day. Right? Before I press record on this podcast, I'm still like, okay, this is the topic, this is that, this and that, this and that. I'm going through a checklist, all of that. Another thing I would say this, one thing that did help me out early on in my YouTube journey was I will like not script out my whole YouTube video, but I will write little points, right, that I want, or I will make a title, and so then I can say in the intro, and if it sounds good in the intro, that's more likely going to be the title of the video. And so that's what I did early on. Now I don't do that because of my content, because of the change, me changing my content to like reactions, which is more of people want more of a raw, your raw reaction to whatever your niche is. They want a raw reaction, so it doesn't really work with that. Although there are times like with my intros, I will write those down, and like I do like a video or two just to test out the waters of, okay, do people like this intro? I don't know. People ain't say nothing about it, so maybe they don't like it. All right, let's switch another direction. I have done that in the past. Not so much now because of all the content I'm producing and stuff like that now. But yeah, guys, like whatever you guys want to do, whether it be skits, and speaking of which, I'm now doing skits, and it's so much fun. Like, I needed this change for my content, for my sanity. Okay, guys, like it's so good. It's so good. So if you guys want to make, like, you guys can make little skits, you and your friends, or TikTok. I mean, a large part of my audience don't even know I make YouTube videos. It hurt the first time I saw the comment like, hey, you should make a YouTube video, you should make a YouTube channel and post these. It hurt. I'm like, I've been doing YouTube for 5 years. What you mean? Like, I got a little, like, I ain't say it, I didn't type it, but in my head, I'm like, oh no, he didn't. You know what I mean? I got offended. Like, wait a minute now. This is from a YouTube video. This ain't for TikTok. You feel me? Like, I did get a little upset. But like, I'm glad that I outsource my stuff, with meaning, what I mean by outsource, I don't mean like people making my videos or editing my videos for me, which sooner or later that's probably going to happen because of the projects I'm working on. But for you guys, your video doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's first video is perfect. I don't care what your biggest the biggest YouTuber or your favorite creator. I don't care. It's never gonna be that same level. And you also don't want to make it the same level. You want something to stand you out from the rest of the people that's in your niche. Like, you don't want the same setup, the same this and that. Now, you can have things that are similar or the same product, like a microphone or something like that, but the overall video, you don't want it to be a copy and paste of what you saw. You can take inspiration from this person, and form your own identity. Because at the end of the day, if you do something based off of someone else, if that person is not popular anymore, where does that leave you? Now you got to start from scratch. Instead of you already building your own identity, showing off how you feel on a topic, or whatever type of content you're making. You want to stand out yourself and build your own brand, because at the end of the day, once you build your own brand, you can do whatever you want with it. You can take it in a different direction, you can do this. But if you building it off of someone else's brand, it doesn't leave you a lot of headroom to elevate, to if you want to change, go into a different direction. Because now, guess what? All them people that are here now are only there because you're making videos similar to that person, or the exact same video as that person. Now when you want to drift off and do your own thing, or do something new that makes you more happy, stuff like that, and it allows you to have more freedom, you lose them. And it's because the base that you were starting from was not your own base. It was a base for someone else. So that's what I would tell you guys is, and by the way, I know it can be difficult to stand out, especially in this day and age when everybody is making content. I would say this: be yourself, though. Be yourself. Don't put on an act, because you're going to have to follow that act every single time. And then if you get popular with that act, guess what? The show continues. You got to put on the act. Now, if you do switch it up, now everybody looking at you crazy. Now everybody looking at you like, who is this person? This is not the person I subscribe to. I'm gonna go, because you put on the act. This is not your true self. And we've seen it before, guys. How many of us have seen it before? Oh, this the downfall of this YouTuber or this creator, because they weren't themselves. And then when they tried to be themselves, it didn't work out, and then they lashed out at the community because they didn't accept it. When in reality, how can I accept something that was a lie in the first place? Now this is your truth. You feel me? Now because the viewership is not there, now you want to be your true self. Why you couldn't just be your true self at the beginning? See, that's one thing I'm very big on, and that's why a lot of people like my content, because I'm myself. Okay? Now there have been some people say, oh, I defend a company, or I defend that, or you getting paid by this. Look, guys, I done told you guys this before. If I was getting paid from a company, you guys would know. Okay? Hey, let me tell you guys, you guys would know. First and foremost, I gotta make it known. If I want to do YouTube, I gotta make it known. But for two, hey, giveaways might be coming. Like, chat. I'm sorry, I just got off a stream. I'm so sorry for calling you guys chat. But, like, it's just one of those things where if you think you want to make content, make content. If you feel like you don't want to make content, that's fine too. Like, don't think because everybody else around you is making content, you have to make content. If you don't want to be in front of the camera, but you still want to make content, they have tutorials now. The PNG little characters. I mean, hell, I even tried it on a couple of my videos this year, just to test it out, see how I liked it, And people liked it. People liked it, but it wasn't me overall. Like, I don't know. I wanted to go back to my old roots on that. But yeah, if you don't want to be in front of a camera, you can make content that does not involve you being in front of the camera. Because a lot of us are camera shy. Hell, I'm still camera shy. Maybe not to you guys as much, because I do live streaming now, and live streaming has really helped me get out of my box, get out of my comfort zone, more so than any other type of content I've ever done. And one of those is speaking in front of people, right? Now, obviously, you guys are not physically right here where I'm at, but looking at the camera and just talking to you guys has been a big stress reliever for me, because even from a young age, I was always kind of terrified to talk in front of people. Large group of people. Let me make that clear. Large. I can talk in front of people, obviously. Large group of people. Like when it was like in school when we had the projects and we had to present them. I was good with the project. I get that done. Get an A on that. But when it's presenting time, oh boy, I'm scared. Or reading, reading out loud to the class. For some reason, it always made me feel like I couldn't read. Cause I'll be like, okay. And then it really sucks when a teacher be like, when she got to help you, he or she got to help you with the word, and then got to help you with the second word, and then the third word, and then you kind of can sense them be like, you know what, we're gonna call on someone else to read the big paragraph. You just get the small one, okay? And it always used to make me feel bad, you know. And I remember the one time it really made me feel bad, and I got really upset. I remember my friend, never will forget. My friend goes, "Bro, you good, bro? You can read." And even obviously I knew I can read, but I needed to hear that from someone else, because obviously you got at that we kids, so oh, what's the name can't read this word, hee hee ha ha, little snickle, you know what I mean. And so that's something I needed to hear, and for a lot of you guys, maybe you need to hear this from me, or from someone that you watch on the daily. Just make content, man. Make content. You never know where it could go. You never know who it can impact. For me, I've gotten a lot. I've not a lot, but I've gotten some messages that made me have a different insight on what I'm doing. And it was a big thing. Like they was like, oh, I'm going through this, or I'm going through this at home, or I'm going through, just little thing. Obviously I'm not going to disclose what it was, but just things like that. It made me like really appreciate, like, the things that I'm doing. And any day I got mad, or I got sad, or the video didn't do as good as I wanted to, or anything like that, I always would go back to those messages, and it made me be like, you know what, this is who I'm doing it for. This is why I'm doing this type of content. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing that. And for a lot of you guys out there, you might not have that support, or you might have a friend that thinks, you can go far, but your family don't really understand what's going on. They're like, nah, you need to take the traditional route and do that. You're going to get that, okay? But if you have fun with it at the beginning, and don't look at it as cha-ching, you look at it as, this is something that could better my life, my personal life. Because there's a lot of things you can take from making content and put in your other life. You might not even notice that now that in your personal life you're smiling more, you're more happy, you're interacting with people way more. And it's all because you making content, making these videos and stuff, just talking to a camera in your room alone, just and it's one of those things that it's shocking, like, to hear it out loud, hear someone say that can change your whole aspect as far as your personal life. But I'm a living testimony to this. Like I just said, me being able to talk in front of large crowds. Now I can talk in front of a large crowd and I'm not as nervous. I'm still nervous, obviously, but I'm not like in fear. Like, I hope they don't call on me. You know what I mean? Like I was that kid, I was that guy. Like, please don't call on me for something to do in front of people. You know what I mean? Like I was one of those. But now I'm way more better. I'm way more better. I'm way better at it. And I've noticed it. Like I say the first time I really truly noticed this was probably 2024. 2024 was like a pretty big year for me. Obviously 2025 was probably the biggest year so far on my YouTube journey. Reaching 1,000 subscribers. That right there is something that I never thought would happen. But now that it has happened, it made me work harder. It made me be like, you know what, I want to expand what I do. I just don't want to be a react channel. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. I want to go back to my roots on this or that. Oh, people used to like this series. I'm gonna bring it back, but I'm gonna bring it back in a different style. I'm not gonna just bring it back just for the sake of nostalgia and stuff like that. um but yeah, guys, that's something I wanted to talk about. I feel like that's something that's important, that a lot of people that have been doing this for a couple years, they don't tell you about. Or not even that they don't tell you about it. It's one of those things where we don't think about it because we've been doing it for so long. When you've been doing it for a couple years, you don't think about, oh, the first video. Hell, I don't even remember my first video, like recording it or anything like that. I've checked it out like on stream and stuff with you guys, but I don't remember like really recording it. And then here and there, sometimes they'll come back to me like, "Oh yeah, I remember this day, this that." But when other people ask me, I don't really have an answer for them because every path is different. But I can honestly say this: if you be yourself and you have fun with it, it will show up. And whether it's one, two, or three people that show up to that first video, don't look at the viewership right away. Because if you do look at the viewership, it's going to make you feel bad. It's going to make you want to quit. I'm telling you, it happens to all of us. It's going to make you want to quit. Because you feel like you put on all this time and effort, and you feel like you're not getting the payback. You're not getting the reward. When in reality, you're building a portfolio that more people are going to see, because you are entertaining, you're funny, you're good at a game, you got a crazy reaction, you got a crazy laugh, you got something that they can hold on to. You got something that they can talk to their friends about, like, yo, check out what's name video. Who that? Oh, nah. Hey, you hear that boy laugh like that? That was crazy, right? Nah, that's his real life. That ain't his real life. Nah, that's real. And now you get people talking. Now they're in your videos. Now they're in your comment section. Now you're communicating with them. And it's just one of those things where it happens. It might seem like it's happened slowly, but in reality, it's happened like this. I'm telling you guys. Before you know it, you're gonna have loyal people in your community that you can depend on to watch this video. Oh, the video might not do great, but you know that John over here and Stacy over here is gonna watch that video, and they're gonna laugh their ass off, or they're gonna be entertained, and they're gonna tell you about it, and you guys are gonna chat about more, and they're going more things to do. They're gonna give you ideas. Now you take those ideas, and now you're going crazy online. Okay, but always remember where you started from. Never forget those two first people, because without them, you would not be where you're at. And that's one thing I have done my whole YouTube journey. I never forget about the people that have allowed me to get to 1,000 subscribers, allowed me to every time I post a short, it goes to 1K or 3K, or the TikTok people that always are on my TikTok and viewing my stuff. Instagram people, same thing as well. I have very, very loyal base over there as well, and I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for following me on this journey, laughing, having a great time, going back and forth with me about my opinions on certain things. I love it all. I love it all. But yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about tonight. This one's a little bit of a longer episode because I did have a lot of things to say. But hopefully you guys learn something from this, and hopefully you guys make content, because I would love to watch you grow. I would love to, be right there and just see you be a better person overall. But that's gonna do it for this episode. Love you guys. By the way, This episode should be on Spotify and Apple Music. I forgot to say that in the intro. But this one should be on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other streaming platforms that you get your podcast from. This will be the first episode. Hopefully it'll be the first episode. We shall see. But love you guys and see you guys in the next one.